How's it going, everybody? This is Eric from Vivid Gamer, and I'm here with James to give you our impressions of the Dead Space 3 demo. Alright, James, so me and you played through the co-op mode, and this is the beginning of it right now, but we didn't get the recording, so this is me and a random dude playing. But we both got to play it, and so what are your, initial thoughts about it?
Coming into it fresh after playing Dead Space 2, I was a little skeptical about it being scary, co-op. And I mean, you played through it single player, so you kind of already knew what was going on.
Yeah.
But I played the co-op campaign just fresh, I had no idea what was going on, and it wasn't scary to me. I didn't really like a lot of the new elements they added, and it was kind of hard because if you have someone watching your back, it threw a lot of the original scares out the window.
Yeah. I mean, playing through it on my own the first time, there were a couple jumps here and there. But I see what you're saying. When you're playing with someone else, it makes it a little bit easier to to not have to go into a room and look at different areas.
And speaking of the jump scares, like you just said, sometimes when you went out there and a jump scare would pop up, I'd be all the way in the back, so it had no effect on me,
Yeah. And I think we might see that later on, but here it starts. This is just the beginning of the demo. You hear some audio in the beginning here that you don't when you're playing in single player, which I guess is one of the features. You can hear it right now playing.
Save your breath. Ellie! Ellie! God damn it! She's dead! And so are we if we don't find somewhere to warm up. Ellie! Unbelievable.
Yeah, so this is, I guess that's one of the features in this. When you play it in co-op, you're gonna have this dialogue between you and the other character. This is where the jump scare happens. So this is exactly what you were talking about, where the guy in the front sees that.
He triggered it.
Yeah, he triggers it, so he gets that scare, but you're just kind of in the back. Not really knowing what's going on.
Exactly. The music gets a little louder, and everything, but all you see is maybe your partner backing up, and I mean, there's nothing there for me.
Yeah. So that's kind of I guess that's a little bit of a concern. Obviously, Dead Space has always been a horror game, but then at the same time, it's a little bit actiony, and I know, they do have a pretty good balance of the horror and the action, but then how much of that is going to be lost in co-op?
Oh, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, it already looks like there's a more heavier emphasis on action now, and
yeah.
I mean, I don't think once during our playthrough either of us ever ran out of bullets.
Yeah, but I think that was more just the demo gives you a ton of ammo.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. What is cool though is that you share the items. You share all the ammo and all that stuff, which I actually liked a lot. You don't have to worry about trading ammo or anything like that.
Oh, like in Resident Evil.
Yeah. So here I wanted to ask you here, this is what I see. This is from my point of view. Did you see the same thing when you were playing it?
There was a couple of the little sensitive moments like this where I had to tap A. I don't know if it was exact same times. I know for sure later on there was one moment where you were falling off and I had to grab you, and that was when I had to keep tapping a button. But I don't know if it was at this exact moment.
Oh, okay. But
and
for
was
that
from my
there,
perspective.
did you see what?
No, I did not.
So it was a little bit different.
Exactly.
Okay.
From my own perspective.
That's pretty cool. So yeah, so what did you think of the weapons?
I wasn't the biggest fan of I want to say it was a shotgun style. It just didn't feel very accurate. I'm sure with the upgrades it'll probably be a lot better, but I mean I liked more of the original gun that Isaac had over the new stuff that I was using with the new guy.
As long as we're on this side of that wall, we're sitting ducks. She's in there. Well, we're not getting in through the front door.
Yeah. So here's a single player mode, This is what you see when you're playing on your own.
Clark!
And after this, we'll see what happens
Never mind! Come
when you're
on,
playing in
Link!
co-op, just to see the different scenes that occur.
Blackbird! They're coming over the outer wall, you hear me? They're headed your way! Damn it! Clark! We're in Central Command! Get up here!
Hey, what? Let's get one thing straight, Clark. We came to this frozen shithole to stop the markers, and nothing, not you or your obsession with Ellie, is gonna get in my way. You got that?
I know why I'm doing this. You. Let's get this lift powered up. With any luck, everyone will be waiting for us past the gates.
That was good.
That was a really weird scene.
Yeah. Back to the weapons. I mean, like, I'm actually really excited for the new stuff that we can use and we can upgrade. I mean, it was like the original game, but with all the new possibilities, it's definitely going to probably get better if we play a little further on in the game.
But I think right after this, we're gonna see the workbench, and this is his new, I guess, the Arctic suit, which looks pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, in the workbench, you'll be able to kind of customize and tweak a bunch of weapons from all the items that you're picking up. And you know, in this video, I didn't show a lot of us picking up items and all that stuff, but you pick up a ton of different items, and they're used, as you can see here, to build a bunch of different weapons. And I think this one I'm trying to build like an electric weapon. But did you get a chance to check out the workbench mode?
I did. It was actually pretty cool, and it kind of opened up a lot of new possibilities. You know, like, I mean, ideas for me, for like what I could do with the single player game, depending on what I find. You know,
Yeah.
it kind of encouraged me to like look around a little bit more. You know, like when I do eventually get the game. I mean, there's all these crazy setups you can do, and it just, I don't know. I like the idea.
Yeah, but it definitely does fall into the more action oriented game.
Mm-hmm.
You know, doing all the customizations and adding all that stuff like that.
See, this is the scene I was talking about where I ended up pressing button to save you.
Oh,
And it was all for nothing. So, anyways,
but that's cool because I didn't even know that.
I believe that was the one. I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure.
So this is the first kind of mini boss, which was actually stupid easy.
Yeah.
And I don't even
Go-
know. I'm trying to use that new weapon and it was horrible.
Going back to what you said about this being much more of an action-oriented game, I mean, this alone right here, you're already in the frozen tundra, and you're shooting a boss with orange spots. It just looks like Lost Planet to me. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I mean, hopefully this is, and then you see that roll, which I didn't even know about until you told me.
Yeah.
But now they have that roll, so it kind of makes it a little bit easier to get away.
Mm-hmm.
Because remember we were talking about the other day, at the beginning of Dead Space 2,
Come on.
on like the hardest setting.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you could die at the very, like, you know, first 2 minutes of the game. You could die
Exactly.
a lot. But now I think,
Swipe that.
yeah, I don't know now.
I mean, if they go back to having like the small corridors again, like they did in the other games, the closed spaces, the dodge might not be as effective because there's no way to go. But
That's
from what
true.
we've seen with the demo, it's very open, so there's lots of room to just be able to maneuver around things.
Yeah, yeah.
cool new addition to the enemy type. I think when we were fighting it, we had like, well, I didn't know why it wasn't going down. Just jumping back and forth.
yeah, when we were playing, it wasn't as easy. Because they were going back and forth from body to body. And you have to stomp it to kill it, or freeze it and kill that thing. Yeah, this one, my partner definitely knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
So this area, this scene here is pretty much the same. In single player, you have to push those two things down on your own. But then you can hear the dialogue. The dialogue is different, where they're talking to each other, which I think is actually pretty cool. And it makes it playing, so if you're playing it on your own and then you go back to playing co-op with someone, it makes it feel like a different game, as opposed to just playing the game over and over and experiencing the same stuff. Yeah, this one, when me and you were playing, it took us a couple tries to figure out what was going on.
Exactly.
Like, there are a lot of enemies there.
Yeah, that could be definitely more challenging once you play like the harder difficulties, which would most likely be what people do if they're playing co-op.
Yeah, absolutely. On normal, this is way too easy. Especially with all the ammo that they give you.
Exactly.
And that lightning gun is actually pretty useful here, because it's like a chain lightning, so you can hit a couple enemies at the same time.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to playing around with all the new weapons and just the different shot types.
This scene right here is pretty intense. Especially the first time you're playing, you're concentrating on getting all the enemies and working on shooting that thing down.
Exactly.
Here we're coming to the end of the demo. But yeah, so overall, did you like the demo?
I liked the demo. The controls, it brought me right back to Dead Space 2, but you know, and even some of the enemies, but it really didn't feel like Dead Space. You know, it might have just been because you were there as a partner. You know, it might have been just that there wasn't as much scares, but it I don't know, it just felt a little off. I have high hopes for the game still. I was you know, a big fan of the first two, and even though a lot of people were saying the second one isn't going to live up, there were some very decent scares in there. And even though this one doesn't seem as scary, I mean, we've only seen maybe 30 minutes of it, so I'm gonna hope that it's gonna be a lot better, you know.
But we'll see. I mean, when you look at some of the trailers at the end, then you can see there are gonna be some confined spaces that you'll be fighting in, and hopefully it'll be more scary. But
exactly.
So yeah, I think we both enjoyed it. Hopefully, when the game comes out and we get to play it, hopefully it'll be just as scary as the other ones, because we don't want this to turn into Resident Evil 5
No.
or 6.
There
I
you
guess.
go. Yeah, 6. Yeah. Oh, don't get me started.
Okay, so that's what we thought about the demo. If you guys want to check out the full co-op gameplay videos without the commentary and without a lot of editing, you can check it out on our YouTube channel. And be sure to check back with us for our full review of Dead Space 3.